My biggest regret as a basketball player stems from when I was a sophomore in high school. If you're a young player on varsity, I know it can be intimidating. You might feel like the best thing to do as soon as you get the ball is to immediately pass it to somebody else, especially when you're surrounded by older, more experienced guys. Why do so many young players pass the ball as soon as they get it? Most of the time it's because of fear. Fear of making a mistake. Fear of taking a bad shot, or the fear of making your coach upset. It's that inner voice in your head that says, what if I mess up? But here's the hard truth. By passing up every chance, you're not just avoiding mistakes, you're also avoiding growth. When you defer to somebody else every time, that communicates that you have a lack of confidence. You're afraid of taking a bad shot or making a wrong move, but not trying is worse. By constantly passing the ball, you're telling your coach and your teammates that you're not willing to take on that responsibility. And that is what hurts your game. Think about it. Coaches want players who are ready to take risks. They want players who believe in themselves enough to step up even when the moment is bigger than them. If you're always passing, the coach starts to think, this kid isn't ready. And when they start thinking that, you know what happens. Let's talk about opportunities. Every time you pass up the ball because you're afraid, you're passing up a chance to make an impact. This is especially true when you're on a varsity team. Those opportunities are limited, and if you don't seize them, somebody else will. The worst thing that can happen when you take a chance is you make a mistake. And Lord knows, Lord knows I've made plenty of mistakes in my life. However, I am proud of myself for this. Whenever my number was called, at least I was aggressive. And my coaches saw that in me. But what about the other times when I made mistakes? It's okay. The worst case scenario is you get subbed out. And guess where that leaves you? Right where you started, on the bench. But you were already there anyway, so what are you afraid of? The only way is up if you're aggressive and don't shy away from the moment. And you might be thinking, oh, I was aggressive and I messed up. You might be thinking that's a failure, but it's really not. Yeah, you didn't make the play you wanted to, but you're not out of the game for good. The next time you're on that court, you've learned from that mistake, and you're a better player for it. If you keep passing up those opportunities, you will never level up as a player. You'll never see what you're capable of because you'll never give yourself the chance to fail. Every mistake is an opportunity to grow. You can't let that fear of messing up hold you back. If you're not making those mistakes, you are not growing. So start trusting yourself and know that mistakes aren't the end. They're just the start of the journey to getting better. So how do you stop deferring and start playing with confidence? It all starts with trusting yourself and the work you've put in. Confidence doesn't just magically appear on game day. It's built in the hours spent practicing beforehand. Learn to take risks. Basketball is about making plays, not avoiding mistakes. I fell into that same negative mindset when I was younger. Instead of playing the game that I loved and playing freely, I started worrying, am I going to make a mistake? Don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake. But whatever you put your focus on is what you will get. So if you say to yourself, don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake, all you're thinking about is possible mistakes you can make. So instead, find a mantra that works for you. Whether it be effort, hustle, heart, whatever you got to say to yourself, just start saying that. Eye of the Tiger. I don't know if you're a Rocky fan like myself. But that mindset is what separates the players who take over the game from those who fade into the background. When you get the ball, you need to evaluate the situation quickly. Don't just pass the ball away out of habit. Take a second to assess the opportunity. Especially in high school, there is no shot clock. Is there an open lane to drive? Can I create space for my shot? Is my defender backing up? All of those things need to be in your mind. What can I do with the ball? Now, taking risks doesn't mean, I'm just going to force a bad shot and play recklessly because, I'm Mr. Aggressive and I'm so confident in myself. No, that's not what I'm telling you to do. It means being aggressive in a smart way. I learned this from one of my coaches last year. Dribble with a purpose. Never dribble the basketball without a purpose. You gotta know where you're going, know what you're gonna do with the ball. Don't just have the ball up here wasting dribbles. This also relates to simplifying the game. The simpler you make basketball, the easier the game will come to you. If the defense gives you space, take the shot. If they're playing too far up, drive to the basket. All these split-second decisions are just clockwork at that point. Stop overcomplicating the game of basketball. Look, the point is, keep the game simple, and when the ball is in your hands, don't be afraid to make something happen. Here's the big mindset shift I want you to adopt. Stop playing for approval. Stop worrying about whether your teammates or your coach are going to like what you're doing or if they're going to get mad at you for making a mistake. Stop worrying about that. If you're constantly seeking their approval, you'll play cautiously. I fell into that same thing. Stop doing that. Just play your game, man. When you stop worrying about what others think and start focusing on what you can contribute to the team, your confidence will soar. This shift also means not being afraid of making mistakes. If you miss a shot or turn the ball over, okay, who cares? Like, don't see it as a failure, but as a part of the process. You're gonna miss shots. Everybody misses shots. Because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna remember the mistakes you make as you keep making plays for your team. When you focus on the impact that you can make, you take the pressure off yourself and allow your confidence to grow naturally. So control what you can control. I've said this in countless videos. You can't control everything. You can't control how your teammates play. You can't control the referee's calls. You can't even control the scoreboard in every moment. You can't control the opponent. But you can control your attitude. You can control your effort and your response to every situation. You've got everything you need to succeed. Now it's about trusting it and letting it show. Let's talk about mistakes for a second. Nobody, and I mean nobody, plays a perfect game. And in high school, it's easy to get frustrated with yourself when you mess up. What I want you to remember is this: mistakes are a part of the process. Here's what you need to understand. Fear of failure will paralyze you. You play scared, and that's when the mistakes really start piling up. You ever notice in basketball, when you make one mistake, that one mistake turns into two, and then that two turns into three, and then four? The mistakes pile up. But here's the thing: fear is the quickest way to take yourself out of the game mentally. Now, what is the opposite of fear? Faith. If you have faith in God, faith in yourself, faith in your teammates, faith in your coaches, that will counteract that fear. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just need to show up with a positive mindset, work hard, and keep moving forward. In the Bible, there's a verse that I love. It is 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. That's what confidence is about. It's not arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than everyone else. It's about knowing that you were created with a purpose. When you're hesitant, you're holding back what God has equipped you with. But when you step up, make your move, and trust in your instincts, you're not just playing basketball. You're glorifying God by using the gifts that He has given you. I hope you got some value from this video, and if you like what I'm saying, you like my message, be sure to subscribe. But as always, keep God first. Good luck, bro. I'll see you, man.